Russian prisoners of war are being sent straight into the frontline assault squads after being released from Ukrainian captivity. They are denied family reunions, interrogated by the FSB, and in some cases prosecuted. Many have attempted suicide. Relatives of released Russian POWs have appealed to the Russian authorities to allow their loved ones to return home. Instead, they say, the men are being sent straight back into combat without even being able to see their families. In one video appeal published last month, the wife of captured Russian soldier Alexei Frolov says that he is awaiting his turn to be exchanged after a year in captivity. She asks the authorities to let him come home, rather than being sent straight back. 23-year-old Kirill Putintsyev joined the army in May 2024 from a prison and was captured less than a month later, having suffered various injuries. He was eventually released in May 2025. However, he and the other prisoners released with him were not allowed even to meet relatives. Instead, his sister Yana says they were interrogated several times by FSB officers, and immediately after that, Kirill was thrown back to Ukraine, to unit number 95396, 1454th Motorized Rifle Regiment. There, they told him directly, "You will not get any leave." And there can be no talk of discharging him. They even refused to send him to a military medical commission, and they put him back into service with a torn back and no fingers. Putintsyev subsequently suffered a mental breakdown, attempted suicide, and was hospitalized. His comrades say many other soldiers have also tried to kill themselves after returning from captivity. No one wants to go back, a soldier with the regiment says. A few were lucky enough to get sent to a hospital. Others were just patched up and sent back. We've all been assigned to unit number 42,038. They're sending us on assault missions. Others have faced prosecution for being captured. In May 2023, the Russian parliament passed a law banning surrender. Russian soldiers are expected to fight to the death unless they are too badly injured to resist. In April 2025, a Russian court sentenced 42-year-old Roman Ivanishin to 15 years imprisonment for surrendering on 10 June 2023. His commander attempted to prevent his surrender by shelling his position, but 2 Russians nearby were killed when Ukrainian forces fired back. Ivanishin described it as just hell. A relative says, "Not only are you fighting and don't understand what for, but your own people are setting you up all the time. They'll send you into an assault without support, or put you in a pit, or beat you up while you're drunk." Ivanishin was returned to Russia in January 2024 as part of a group of 248 prisoners. He was sent back to Sakhalin in the Russian Far East and was immediately arrested. He spent more than a year in pretrial detention before his conviction earlier this year. Russia has a long history of treating returning POWs with suspicion and hostility. Just as in World War II, it appears that POWs are going through filtration by the secret police, the NKVD then, the FSB now, to assess their loyalty and possible culpability. Russian conscripts captured by Ukraine during its 2024 incursion into the Kursk region have reported particularly brutal and illegal treatment. Those who returned from captivity a few months later reported being forced to sign contracts to make them permanent soldiers. Relatives of 25-year-old Grigory Savinkov say that he and other ex-prisoner conscripts were threatened with criminal prosecution and physical violence unless they signed a military contract. Men are said to have been imprisoned in pits and chained up to persuade them. The Russian authorities' attitude appears to be that surrendering is a shameful act for which prisoners must atone, either by going straight into assault squads with a high chance of death, or if they are conscripts, by joining the army for indefinite service. A Ukrainian missile strike on the command post of Russia's 8th Guards Combined Arms Army in occupied Donetsk has killed the army's head of communications, Colonel Vasily Skirnevsky. The death of Colonel Skirnevsky was confirmed in an obituary published by the administration of the Parabelsky district in Russia's Tomsk region, where he was born. OSINT analyst Necromancer first noticed this obituary. According to the Post, Skirnevsky was a graduate of the Tomsk Higher Military Command School of Communications and the Military University of Communications. He previously served in the Central Communications Center of Russia's internal troops and held a number of other military positions before joining the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022 as a communications officer in a Russian regiment. The missile strike on the Russian headquarters occurred late on June 30th. Ukrainian military blogger Anatoly Shtefan was among the first to report the death of senior Russian officers in the attack, including Colonel Ruslan Goryachkin, the commander of the 8th Combined Arms Army. That information has not been independently verified. The Ukrainian General Staff commented that the high-precision strike would significantly complicate the enemy's ability to plan and conduct operations in the Pokrovsk and Toretsk directions. It added, "The Ukrainian Defense Forces will continue to systematically destroy the command and control infrastructure of the aggressor's armed forces." The 8th Guards Combined Arms Army is one of the key Russian formations involved in combat operations in eastern Ukraine, including near Avdiivka and the Donetsk region. Moments of Russian Shahed drone strikes on residential buildings during overnight attacks in Odessa and Kiev have been captured on video. These deliberate assaults by Russian forces once again targeted civilian infrastructure.
Куда идти?
Наши окна и вот пиздец. Пиздец. В машине пиздец, везде пиздец.
The Ukrainian 17th Army Corps has revealed details of its reinforcement as part of a large-scale reorganization of the structure of the Ukrainian ground forces. According to the information released, the Corps now includes 3 combat units: the 65th Mechanized Brigade, the 128th Mountain Assault Brigade, and the 110th Mechanized Brigade. This decision was made to enhance operational flexibility and the ability to respond to threats amid the large-scale war against Russia. The creation of the Corps structure allows for more effective coordination between units, as well as centralized command of large forces in specific sectors of the front line. The 17th Army Corps is carrying out tasks on one of the key sectors of the front line. Its reinforcement is a response to the increased intensity of enemy combat operations. An Army Corps is an operational tactical formation of the armed forces of Ukraine, which usually includes several brigades, as well as combat and logistical support units. The Corps command will have broad capabilities for operational maneuvering of forces and resources depending on the situation at the front. Its main function is centralized control of units and ensuring high combat effectiveness in a designated operational direction. The armed forces of Ukraine's intention to fully transition to a Corps-based command system became known in November 2024. In February 2025, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine announced the launch of the practical implementation of this process at all levels of combat formations. As previously reported, the 20th Army Corps received 5 mechanized brigades under its command.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.